Hello, hello, welcome to this update. So let's see the severe weather for the US and Canada on the next few days because it got a little more concerning for parts of the northern US and other areas during the next 3 days. So let's take a look at that. Now we have some storms ongoing in Canada there, some rain in northern and western Canada, and a storm or two in the US there. So let's see what the severe weather looks like for today. So let's see here. So it's two slight risks today, one in parts of Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, northern Arizona, and New Mexico, and another slight risk in parts of Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. A marginal risk in Ohio and Michigan, and another marginal parts of Kansas, Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Colorado, parts of Arizona, Utah, Wyoming, Montana, the Dakotas, Nebraska, and even northwestern Wisconsin and Minnesota. So let's see. Tornado threat is 2% in parts of Minnesota, North and South Dakota, even northernmost Nebraska. So be aware there. 2% tornado. Wind threat 15 and 5% in all of the areas. And hail 15% in both slight risks for large hail and a smaller 5%, but in most of the areas as well. So be aware. Severe wind gusts and hail are most probable today over parts of the Four Corners in southwestern Wyoming, and this evening portions of the eastern Dakotas and western Minnesota. So be aware there. Let's see what the latest HERS shows the storms. It shows those storms firing in Utah and Colorado, some stronger ones there going to southern Wyoming. So be aware, those are the stronger storms there with hail, wind, and then more storms in New Mexico, Colorado, storm or two in Arizona, mainly eastern and northern Arizona, and Utah. There's some stronger storms. Then this evening, these storms formed there in Minnesota and North Dakota, but nothing crazy, but some stronger storms there too. So be aware. It shows, let's see, a storm or two in Ohio and Michigan there, but nothing crazy, but they have a marginal risk there. So be aware. Still some afternoon storms in Florida there. So be aware. And let's see here. Let's see for tomorrow and later, because now it's an enhanced risk for tomorrow, Monday. So let's see parts of South Dakota, central southern Minnesota, and northern Nebraska, even western Wisconsin, an enhanced risk of severe weather, and a slight risk from Nebraska to Wisconsin, and a marginal parts of Montana, Wyoming, northeastern Colorado, Nebraska, the Dakotas, Kansas, even to the UP of Michigan, Iowa, and some areas. And another marginal risk in parts of Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia, Ohio, Virginia, and another marginal parts of the Northeast, Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. So be aware, but please be careful in that enhanced risk. So let's see. Tornado threat, actually 5% tomorrow in Minnesota and South Dakota. So the greatest tornado threat around Sioux Falls. So please have some way to receive warnings tomorrow and stay safe. 2% tornado from northern Nebraska to western Wisconsin. Wind threat, 30% wind threat tomorrow in parts of South Dakota, northern Nebraska, and Minnesota. 15% and 5% there, and a 5% in the areas in the northeast. Hail is also 30% and hatched for 10% probability of 2-inch plus hail. So please be careful. Might have some damaging hail those storms tomorrow, and 15 and 5% as well. In the northeast, some areas of 5% for hail. So please be careful, and general risk of storms too in the south. Severe storms are expected to evolve within a zone extending from northern high plains into the Wisconsin vicinity during the afternoon and evening Monday. A few severe storms also expected across northeast and mid-Atlantic region. So be careful there tomorrow. And for day 3, still a slight risk in parts of Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Northern Ohio, parts of New York, Pennsylvania, and the Great Lakes there. Even this will affect Southern Ontario too, and parts of Iowa, and then the marginal risk from Nebraska to New York, and general risk of storms parts of the south and the west. So probabilistic 5-15%. Severe weather potential is evident across the Great Lakes region on Tuesday, so stay safe there. Let's see here. So day 4 through 8, nothing. Alright, but let's see. And for today, where I have some discussions there in parts of Utah and Colorado for thunderstorms and some supercells, and let's see. And the fire threat is some isolated dry thunderstorms today, possible in parts of Wyoming, southern Montana and Idaho and northern Utah. And tomorrow they still don't have anything yet, but we might get an outlook later. So let's see for tomorrow some stuff. So this is the HER. Let's see. Monday 17Z, so the significant tornado parameter tomorrow shows higher in parts of South Dakota there. Let's see, kind of Minnesota and South Dakota. Doesn't show anything crazy, but it shows like South Dakota there, especially the higher probability of some tornadoes. Especially later in the afternoon and evening, it rises even more there in parts of South Dakota, the significant tornado parameter, so then it dissipates later. So be aware there. The updraft helicity, it shows the full run, it shows for today, the storms there in the four corners, kind of in the plains, and then tomorrow it shows some really strong signals there in going from South Dakota to Minnesota, especially Minnesota. This, like the chance of rotating updrafts, usually indicates large hail and severe storms in those areas. So be careful there tomorrow. Let's see. And the mixed layer cape, it shows like tomorrow afternoon or something about 3,000 to 4,000 joules per kilogram in South Dakota and Minnesota. Let's see, an hour later, it's still very high, more than 4,000 joules per kilogram in South Dakota. The most unstable cape also shows very high in Iowa, Minnesota, and South Dakota, more than like 4,000 joules per kilogram. The surface-based cape shows also very high there, more than 4,000 joules per kilogram tomorrow afternoon. So all the ingredients are there, including the high temperatures that will fuel the instability. So please be careful tomorrow there with the storms and warn others. Let's see this map for today, like severe weather and thunderstorms. Tomorrow, some mixed precipitation in Wyoming, and day 3 still some rain, mixed precipitation, and severe weather. So quantitative precipitation today shows more in the west because of all the storms, Canada, and some parts of the north and southeast. For Monday, tomorrow, the storms there, some in Canada and the northwest, and scattered in the south. Day 3, more across the north, midwest, and those areas in Canada because of the severe weather, more in the south there, in the southwest and western Canada. Let's see, day 4, Thursday, shows more across the north, still in Canada, and the northeast and the south. Next Friday shows more in the south, the central areas, the midwest still in the east. Next Saturday shows more in Canada, kind of the eastern, the Appalachians and kind of the south. And next Sunday shows more in the south, Florida, more in Texas, the plains, and areas of the north. So day 1 through 7 shows a lot in Minnesota and Wisconsin from all those days of storms, a lot in Florida, parts of the Gulf there, and the southwest and some other areas. So stay safe. Marginal risk for Sunday today shows for excessive rain parts of Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado, so stay safe. Tomorrow, another marginal risk of excessive rainfall, flash flooding from Montana to Michigan, and a marginal in the southwest. Day 3 is still a marginal in Wisconsin and Michigan, and in the southwest. Day 4, Wednesday, another marginal in mid-Atlantic, northeast, the north and southwest. Day 5, Thursday, another marginal in the north there for some more storms. So stay safe. Let's see. What else? The heat risk still major in much of the plains in the Midwest. Major heat risk. Monday, tomorrow, extreme. So Monday across Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas shows, and even Missouri and South Dakota shows extreme heat risk in those areas. That's Minnesota actually. So so be careful with the heat. Stay cool, hydrated, and everything. Tuesday, still some major to extreme heat risk in Illinois, Missouri and Iowa, and Indiana, Michigan. So be careful, and major heat risk there. Some moderate and major in the south and southwest. Wednesday, still extreme heat risk in some areas there, major. Thursday, still in the mid-south, central, some extreme and major heat risk on the east too. Friday, some moderate and major heat risk, some areas of extreme, and Saturday a little bit better, some moderate heat risk in the south, southwest and northwest. So stay safe there. Let's see the current hazards. This will change of course, but it shows the hurricane warnings in the ocean there in Hawaii and the tropical storm warnings and everything. We will see that better in the tropics video. And let's see. Tropical storm warning, yes, and some excessive heat watches there. And in some areas, some excessive heat warnings and advisories there. For heat, let's see, so some flood advisories, some air quality advisories, and wind warnings in Wyoming, and even flood watch still in Georgia there in Florida. So air quality advisory, yeah, so be aware there. Let's see, the maximum temperatures shows in the hundreds in the plains today, 90s in other areas, in the southeast, southwest, 100s and 90s. Let's see, for tomorrow shows 100s in the plains, still lots of 90s throughout the central, midwest, southeast, southwest, so be careful of the heat. The minimum temperatures colder in the west tomorrow. Let's see, the maximum temperatures for Tuesday, day 3, more 100s in mid-south, central, midwest, and some 90s there, 100s on the southwest. Let's see, day 4, still lots of 90s and 100s throughout the central US and the east, 100s on the southwest and California. Let's see, that's Wednesday. Now day 5, Thursday, more 100s in Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, more 90s throughout there, high 90s and 100s on the southwest. Day 6, next Friday, more 90s in Costa East, Ohio Valley, some areas there on the south, and on the west, more 90s and 100s. Day 7, next Saturday, more 90s across the south, some is further north, and 90s on the west, and 100s on the southwest. So stay safe there. The 24-hour max wind gusts, like shows wind there in Utah, Arizona, some out in Southern California, parts of Wyoming, the plains, might be some gusty winds there. And that's just the wind, not even considering the severe weather, which will have higher winds. So stay safe. And the severe weather in Canada for Sunday the 25th, today, shows a high probability of strong to severe storms there in southeastern Manitoba. That area shows some 90 to 110 km/h winds, isolated tornado or 2 probability, and hail, and some 50 to 100 millimeters of heavy rain. So be aware. Also some severe possible further north into Manitoba, some moderate to severe storms in the south, and some minor storms in other areas. And then let's see, the Northwestern Territories, some minor storms with some wind and rain in the northwestern area. British Columbia shows nothing, but let's see, yes, nothing. They had an outlook yesterday showing some storms, but today they're not showing it anymore. And Ontario shows some more strong to severe storms in southwestern Ontario because of that system, and through Western Ontario more storms. Some isolated mild storms in parts of southern Ontario, but be aware they're in Western Ontario. And then let's see, and then tomorrow Monday shows more severe storms possible for central Ontario and some areas of southern Ontario, some minor storms. And day 3 will be like the severe day there, but they still don't have it here, I think. So let's see, in Quebec shows some minor storms today with wind and hail and some rain. In southern Quebec and parts of eastern Quebec, and Atlantic Canada shows some minor storms too. So be aware, nothing crazy. And let's see, we still have some bunch of air quality advisories in Manitoba for the fires in the Northwestern Territory, still for the smoke, the visibility. British Columbia rainfall warning, rain heavy at times north coast, including Stewart, now until Monday morning. So be aware, some special weather statements for the rain there. From that new system might be heavy, still the storm surge warnings there. Be aware, some wind warnings in northern Quebec for 100 km/h gusts occur on Monday. Some, let's say, a rainfall warning heavy at times, 25 to 50 millimeters possible Sunday through Monday. That's see there, Coral Harbor of Nunavut in Labrador there. Shows a heat warning, period of warm weather expected today through Tuesday, near 30 degrees possible and 16 to 18 degrees lows. Some air quality advisories in central Ontario for the wildfires. Severe thunderstorm watch in Manitoba. It's already happening and it will continue. Conditions are favorable to develop dangerous thunderstorms capable of strong wind gusts, damaging hail and torrential rain. Rainfall totals might exceed 100 millimeters, hail in excess of golf ball size, wind gusts up to 110 km/h. So continues across Manitoba this morning. Thunderstorms will be severe with high humidity in place and slow storm motion. Heavy rain is a concern, so be aware there. And let's see, these warnings are like heat warnings too. Humidity index values 2 to 38 expecting the next 2 days, and still some heat warnings in southwestern Ontario there. I think it's the heat wave from the US extending north. Now rainfall warning, heat warning, and severe thunderstorm watch there, and some rain warnings in parts of western Ontario there. So be aware of the heavy rain. And this mainly, let's see, it shows the system today in Western Canada, the rain warnings in British Columbia, some snow in the mountains of Yukon, British Columbia, so be careful there. The system moves Monday through British Columbia, some storms in Alberta by Tuesday and Wednesday, still some snow in the mountain, then keeps going there, still some more rain in the west by Thursday and Friday. Shows another system by like Saturday the 31st there in Western Canada. Central Canada shows the storms there today and tomorrow, going to Quebec, no, Ontario, Manitoba, and then later into southern Ontario. We'll see that in a second. Then Wednesday to Thursday shows another storm system there going east. Then later might have more stuff in eastern Canada. Shows some showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two in Quebec today. And the system there by Tuesday and Wednesday shows those stronger storms in Ontario and to Quebec by Tuesday and Wednesday there, and southern Ontario especially. Then that new system there by like next Saturday and Sunday, and it leaves there by next Tuesday the 3rd. So be aware there. The European model shows the storms there in Manitoba and Western Ontario this afternoon and tomorrow, Monday. Then it keeps moving there into Quebec and Ontario. Then the system in the US there kind of affects southern Ontario by Tuesday afternoon, and still until Wednesday, more storms in southern Ontario there. Then the new system later. So stay safe there. Let's see this model here. The HER, it shows the storms already happening in Manitoba, the severe storms there. They'll mainly dissipate those first storms, but And this afternoon it doesn't show anything very great, so many the severe line of storms happening now. And then it shows maybe a thunderstorm or two forming behind it in Manitoba and Western Ontario later this evening, but nothing crazy. Tomorrow it shows the line of storms, strong to severe storms going through Western Ontario there through the morning and afternoon, but it shows like more morning and night. So, and then in the US there, let's see. And then those severe storms will really kick up in South Dakota and Minnesota tomorrow in the enhanced risk. So more tomorrow throughout the southwest, more in the plains, but it shows some really big storms there in the enhanced risk tomorrow. So stay safe. And let's see. The European model has for today a lot of cape there for those storms, and tomorrow it's really showing some big amounts, especially in Iowa, more than 6,000 joules per kilogram, but like 3,000 to 4,000 joules per kilogram in South Dakota and to Minnesota. So yeah, stay safe. And the higher temperatures today showing southern Manitoba 29 to 30 degrees, 28, even to 30 in Ontario there. Let's see, Monday, tomorrow shows more in Ontario. Let's see, to 29 degrees to 27. So even western Quebec shows 29 degrees there to 28 in the 20s. So be aware there. It's already colder across the west because of all those systems. C16, 10 degrees. For the south, 19, C16 degrees. Some 20s in Alberta and Saskatchewan. And Nunavut a little bit cooler. So be aware, and then it continues there. But by next Tuesday, still shows some heat in the south, but more heat builds in parts of our Saskatchewan and Alberta. Some more 20s there, and Labrador, some 20s there too by Tuesday. So stay safe. The wind gust still shows, let's see, today shows those very strong winds in Nunavut, Northwestern Territories of that system there, into Lake Hudson Bay. Shows Monday into Tuesday some very strong winds crossing there, especially into Quebec there. The European model has more than 100 km/h winds there by Wednesday. Let's see, like Wednesday afternoon, then the strong winds keep going through the rest of Wednesday and Thursday, even to Friday near Atlantic Canada. And then some more strong winds like on the west next Tuesday and Wednesday, another system to northwestern US and Canada, so some other strong winds there like next Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. So yeah, stay safe. But that's the European. The GFS shows weaker than the European, but also some very strong winds of that system there crossing Nunavut, Hudson Bay and Quebec, like today through Monday and Tuesday. So be aware there. This mainly it. Stay safe from the severe weather and everything.